Good morning, Savage community, Savage family, and everyone else. Because if you haven't savaged your life up, then you're probably everything else that Savage isn't. And uh, anyone that knows my vision, my mission, and the mission statement and the definition of uh, the brand, and as well as knows me, then you know what that means. So, oftentimes, if you're not that, then you're probably the opposite, which is weak, needy, uh, victim, and everything else. So when there's real victims out there, not self-inflicted, wallowing in our own misery and our own pity. I just want to take the time for a minute, man. It's something that I wanted to touch base on before I finish my workout up. And anybody that is on any of my social media platforms, which things are still developing, there's more coming, there's things being worked on almost daily, which was the implementation of my fundraising efforts through my races. And this was the first time doing that. And as you will hear me say a lot of things that fit universally, by no means am I even in the category with any of the racers who are sponsored by Spartan or any races at all. It's merely something I love to do. It's self-discipline. I just love getting after it. I race and challenge myself and compete only with myself, not with anyone else. But I compete in life. I do not keep up with anybody. I do not compare myself to anybody. So I thought I would try to find a way to help people in need. And there's no certain way I pick this. It's just whoever I decide to help. If it's one person, if it's multiple families, if it's an organization, whatever it is going forward in the future. So I haven't let a lot of people know how that turned out. And again, when you're starting something from scratch, you can't have expectations. You should have expectations in no one anyway. That's one of the problems we let ourselves down so much in life, is we have, for those of us like myself, we can't expect us out of someone else. It's just not going to happen. And we got to have zero expectations of everybody else. So let me try to put this in a nutshell of how it was going. The races for me and my budget get costly. I have not did near as many as I planned, and when I started doing these 6 or 7 years ago. I've done a lot of other things in my past fitness life and my past life and other things like that. But when I really found these races, I really loved them. Like I said, do I wish I would have started them younger? Do I wish I had more time to train? I try not to say I don't have time for stuff. I try to create the opportunity, make time for stuff. I switch irons in the fire depending on what needs to be heated at the time or what needs to be cooled off. But people like myself, we're multi-functioning individuals. We have to have multiple things going on. That's how things like this work. So I thought the races get costly, for most people on a reasonable budget, uh, one race day. That's if it's inside the state, after fees, after gas, after food, after the miscellaneous stuff you have to pay, and that's if you take off of work or you're off. Sometimes it's lost wages. Nothing extra can easily cost $400 or $500. So just recently, anyone that knows I did too. This is how I wanted to do my fundraising efforts. Just say if I had the cash to go donate to stuff, I would. I would very much like to do so. It's not how much we give, it's what we're willing to do with what we have. A lot of people have it and they do it just for show so they can get recognition and pat on the back. If I had the money, I still would rather put in the work. Anybody that knows me knows that. That's how I keep gratitude. That's how I stay humble, is going and putting in the work. So anyone that knows I did my first I did 2 races 2 days in a row. And one was the beast, one was the sprint. And for me, up to this point, the beast was the toughest one I ever done. I said it in my other videos. People have done stuff way tougher, have challenged themselves more, but the fact of it is most of society has not. Unless you did one of these past the sprint, you don't understand the discipline you have to have, because a lot of people don't even finish the race. Well, I wanted to come up, there's so many people that need help. There's so many people going through stuff, and people out there who are real victims. They're actually going through real tragedies in life, whether it's accidents, whether it's illness, whether it's prematurely losing a loved one, excuse me. And a lot of people can afford to do more races because they pick up on sponsors and things like that. There's a difference. Anybody that knows I picked up a couple of sponsors individually. From I'm very blessed that these people came through for me, but that is not the same as getting sponsored. I'm not sponsored by a shoe company. I'm not sponsored by Spartan. I'm not sponsored by anybody that I decide to do another race with. That has nothing to do. That's someone individually that came through and said, I'm going to help put some funds up for this. And I'm very blessed and very grateful for that. So I wanted to explain this because a lot of people don't know this. A few people do. Anytime you're going after anything or building something worth a damn, people are going to come after you. People never worry about the ones who are doing nothing, doing shit. And for people that just want to go to their job every day, go quietly, go keep their simple stuff and cause no waves, don't ruffle no feathers, don't do anything. That's cool if that's what you want to do. That's not us. The only way you don't have enemies is don't stand up for shit. Anytime you're going to build anything worth a damn, you're going to structure anything that's going to be what's best for you, especially trying to help other people and build something from scratch, people are coming out of the shed to work against you. It's just the way it goes. People like me, not only do we expect it, we're ready for it. We've been getting challenged our whole life, overcoming obstacles. We've had people, and they usually come at us in teams, in packs. They stick together. You can usually find these people together. You usually can find people with the like-minded that are together with the same habits, whatever it is. You can always you pick a category, whether it's negative or positive. You usually can find these people together. I mean, sometimes people just don't fit together when their lives are totally different. So I'm never going to address these people or acknowledge them by name. They know who they are. They don't bother me. Again, people don't most of the time in life follow what they really want to do, what they're passionate about, live the life they want to, go after it because they're worried about getting judged. You're worried about getting judged and criticized by people who aren't even going to fucking attempt to do what most of us fail at. It's the truth. Failure does not bother us. Regret bothers us. You hear me say that a lot because it's the truth. We're not worried about any of those things. We're definitely not worried about why do so many people let a few people's opinion and criticism stop you from living the life that you want to live. Whatever it is, whatever you think that you're worried about getting judged or criticized about, whatever it is, they're doing it anyway. And by us not doing what you want to do, or you desire to do, not becoming what not only you want to be, but what you should be and what you can be, you're letting them people win. Failure is not losing. Losing is not doing anything and not even attempting it. So this is one of the things I wanted to implement with my brand. So I wanted to let everybody know how the first one went. I have so much more to say, but I'm gonna keep this because there's gonna be more content on this later. So I picked up a couple of sponsors, and what it did was it made my fees more manageable. So let me give you an example. Hold on a second. Let me backtrack. I was going to do this video anyway, and I always follow up on everything. If I get behind, I always get around to it. People should be going by what people do, not what they say. And if you know me, you know I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. I don't give anybody else those windows except myself. People like you to hold us to stuff, and then when we fucking do it, they backpedal. The same people that criticize you and the same people that attack you, the same people, we're not going to defend. I won't defend my character, and I don't feel the need to defend anything. To anybody I do not think is worthy. People are always going to attempt to attack your character and what you're doing when they have nothing going on. They have miserable lives. They are toxic. They're unhappy, and they're not doing shit except sucking the life out of life and doing nothing. Those of us that do are not worried about the ones who don't. The ones who don't are worried about us. Again, people don't come after the people who are passive, non-resistant, non-confrontational. They come after us. But we're okay with it. We expect it. If you can't handle it, don't do it, because we always think we can handle it. So I've seen some things on social media that not come right out and saying names, but like we say, we have eyes and ears everywhere. We don't have to tell people to listen, to watch out what other things people are doing and saying. People like myself, we do not care if we're liked. We do not care if we're accepted. We do not care if it's popular. We care about fucking being respected. And whoever's got to fall off, no matter what their title is, what relationship they have, or how long we have known them, they can drop off. They got to go. Unapologetically, we won't reach out to them. We won't talk to them. We won't even acknowledge them. We don't have time for that. Let me say this. We don't create time for that. We create time for what we want to have time for. If something has been put on the back burner, I will get to it. And these people, I'll never acknowledge them on social media or anything. But I have a couple other examples I'll get to in another video. I have run into a few of these people in relation to this subject and other subjects. And their confidence, confidence is real, cockiness isn't. Their cockiness on social media is not so much in real person. You should see how they stutter and tremble and get nervous when you put them in check, and especially people that don't have a good verbal communication skills and don't know what they're talking about, we usually can take them apart pretty easily. They have nothing to say in person. When you give them the opportunity to talk to you in person and bring up some of their attempted jabs, because it's what they do. They give backhanded comments that are disguised as compliments, and they're really jabs. These people are a non-factor. If somebody's going to take their time to troll what you're doing, leave negative comments, and attack you when you're trying to do something good and build something for yourself, you cannot let them get to you. That's a miserable life. You have to take it as a compliment if somebody's willing to take that much time out of their day to do that, because we don't make time for that. You think about how unhappy they must be that they have to focus on that instead of, look, it's kind of like a statement of something I seen a while back. You never hear a crackhead say they don't have the money for crack. Meth addict don't say they have the money for meth. What's kind of like a hater? Haters never run out of material, because if it's not one person, it will be somebody else. You got to remember, people that hate that much, it's just not on one specific person or idea or individual. It's anything that's not them, because what it makes them feel like is your success is their failure, whatever it is. People like us don't put success behind money. So with saying that, I really wanted to let everybody know how this turned out. I had so many people I wanted to help, so I thought it's got to get an idea. It has to get implemented and get started somewhere. There's no good time to do some things in life. You got to get started. People like myself, we get started and we just fucking figure it out. We make the adjustments as we go. We may make a plan for 1 year. It might take 3, but we do it. So I couldn't help everybody I wanted. Some people's like, well, maybe you should have focused on one and that, but there would have been more to gain. Maybe it could have been more help, and maybe so. We'll figure that out as we go. So, one of the good friends of mine, and let me add this. Any sponsors I picked up were all people that used to live in the community or the county or the town that all moved over 20 years ago. I want to say I probably got 3 donations from local people I went to school with, classmates, different things like that. If I count everybody on my personal Facebook page, then everybody on my brand page, Instagram, and then I just had my 25-year class reunion. No one's obligated. There's things I've missed too. Maybe it was in my notifications, I didn't see it, whatever it is when it's doing some kind of fundraising efforts. But I put it across all social media platforms. A lot of people want to talk a good game till it comes time to do it. So I thought, what better way to do it than implement it with my races? The brother, good friend, we lost touch. We hadn't seen each other over 20 years. He came, this individual in this company, small business that is the other side of Austin, came through and paid most of my fees. As you've seen, if you've seen my shirt, my sponsor shirt, you've seen that it was Victory Service, and you've seen that it was Smoothie Queen, and you've seen a couple other things on there. We didn't know how this was going. There's some things I wanted to do, I didn't do, and there's some things I'd done that I didn't think I would do. So I decided to do 3 or 4, which was one, some friends of ours that got in a bad motorcycle accident, both of them out of work. Another was a friend that's fighting ovarian cancer, stage 3 or 4, I believe, and has been in extensive rounds of chemotherapy. Another was a young lady and young man, beautiful family, has been going through a lot of tragedy. They lost their child, baby. Uh, uh, I believe, I don't want to say this wrong, I believe it was SIDS or something like that. Uh, Tragedies. These are tragedies. You know, a couple of the people are, one's still fighting cancer, one is recovering from their accident, and both of them got hurt. I mean, it's hard to pick and choose who to help. So I just thought I would go on a mission. The more sponsors and donations we get, the more I'm going to do the races anyway. Whatever races I signed up for, I had done 7 or 8 of these different kind of races in the past. I would like to do 7 or 8 a year. I'm going to do it anyway. And going forward, I plan on, with nearly every race I do, doing some kind of fundraiser. Maybe it's one, maybe it's Diabetes Association, maybe it's Alzheimer's, maybe it's abused children. Well, I don't know what it's going to be. Whatever the people I get with, whatever sponsor we come up with, the more we do, the more we can help. So I've seen these little jabs, like I've seen somebody say, I wonder where the fundraiser money went, or begging for money. So I wanted to put it out there, and I want to post something either today or sometime this week of the pictures of it. So let's go over this. Each race was about $150, $200, because it depends on when you sign up. So we were trying to figure out the best formula to donate. I ran it across all social media sites, gave it a couple of months. So, but signing up for both races, it was a little over $300. The gas to go back and forth both days, since I decided not to rent a room, I needed to after the first day of the beast, and I decided not to save a little cash, was still between probably $70 and $100. Then just the basic food was probably about $40 or $50 for both days, miscellaneous fees, and then I had to take off of work and get lost wages. So that was on me. It's something I decided to do. I'm happy with that decision. I'm satisfied with that. What I make is irrelevant. Let's just say whatever it is. That was a day of lost wages. Well, my shirt, $35 or $40, I got myself, and not that anybody wanted to wear my shirt. I tried to auction it off. All the donations would have went back to those people. After this, I will do it again. So you can probably figure, we figured that whole weekend cost about $600. Between $550 and $600 for 2 races, not one. So between my sponsors, I got close to $300 donated. And then what it cost me and the rest of the fees to follow up, after everything was done, we had about $150 or $160 left from the other 3 people that donated, plus what was left over. Anything, I've said that from the beginning, anything that was over whatever it cost for the race, nothing extra. It wasn't going out to eat on a dime. So what we did, after everything was said and done, this is what we came up with. We took what that was of the entry fees and everything it cost, and we figured, actually I was in the hole, but I keep my word. That's what I do. Look, and I'll post about this later. You're training people for what kind of character you have and what kind of person you are by what you do or don't do. It doesn't matter if it's at a loss. It doesn't matter if it's at a fail. It doesn't matter if it's a setback. You follow through. You do it the best of your abilities. So after everything was said and done, we had $150, $160 to donate. That was 3 families, individuals. They didn't know what they were getting. They didn't ask me to do it. I just volunteered to do it. I wish it would have been much more. I would have loved to have handed them so much more resources or money. It came out to $40 a piece. A lot of people wouldn't even have delivered that. I feel like I had to. I feel like it was my responsibility. I'm a person that feels like I have to follow through with what I'm going to say I'm going to do. But here's how it's going to go. Going forward, it's going to be a lot more. We're going to keep doing this. The people I have on my team, the people that sponsored me, the people who were networking together with me, people are going to catch on, or they're going to move out of the way. It's that simple. We're going to keep doing it. I want to be able to come back on my podcast in a few years and go, man, look where we're at with the fundraising. Look how many people we've helped. In the meantime, it's still an effort. and this was the best we came up with. But again, nothing is gonna, people want you to have all the answers and have everything lined up. We're still creating, we're developing almost by the day. We're working on something all the time. Every race, every fundraiser, every sponsor, it will get easier. Maybe I go back and help these people again. Maybe I do the same ones next time. Maybe it's somebody else. The next couple of weeks, I'm supposed to meet with 2 or 3 different people about things like this. That's what we want to do. So I just wanted to put that out there in case anybody didn't know. Because I also, which is one other thing, I also was going to follow up and put some in my class fund. That didn't come first. So I decided to divide it up among them 3 people. I will get with somebody that can take care of that and donate what I'm going to donate to our class fund this week. It took a few weeks to get this lined out. You know, creating something is never easy, but it's always worth it. The people that creating nothing, they don't understand this. They don't get it. So I just wanted to put that in a nutshell and explain that, how it worked. And I don't know what we're going to do going forward. I'm looking at my next race right now. It's going to be probably a half marathon or marathon before it gets too cold and the cold sets in regularly. I don't like cold weather. I got sick after that race, and it was on me. Oh, I got sick after the race and had to miss another day of work. That was another lie. It was on me. The cold water got me sick. I was running 102 temperature for 2 or 3 days. I missed a day and a half of work. And that, like I said, it was on me. It was something I decided to do. I like inflicting that on myself. With more discipline comes more freedom. People don't get that. With more undisciplined comes less freedom. You think you're being free by not being disciplined, but you're not. It comes with more restrictions. So race weekend, it costs $500 or $600 counting fees. That's just to sign up, and I signed up a little bit late by standards of sometimes you can pay for this a year in advance, and I have done that. My apparel, my gas, my food, my lost wages, we had $150 to donate after that. $160, excuse me. I donated among 3 families. It was only $40 a piece. I don't know how they took it. They seemed grateful. They may not have. They didn't ask me to do it. They didn't ask us to do it. But it's important for me, after I posted it on social media, I'm going to follow through with what I say I'm going to do. I delivered it to them individually. And like one person said, we know it came from the heart, so it doesn't matter. If we really say what we believe what we say we do, which is everything counts, it comes from the heart. No matter how small or big it is, then we would do it. No matter what it is. So nobody that knows me can't say they didn't know about it or didn't see it. So anybody that wants to, you'll have an opportunity to do it again later. I'm about to line up another race right now. I had planned to do one on Thanksgiving, but the way my schedule lined up and obligations, it didn't work out. So I decided to save my money and not sign up. If nobody comes through with any more sponsors and pays fees going forward, I'm still going to do races, but I will be able to do less of them. Everything will be accounted for. I will always, it's not taking pictures with these people to get credit. It's to show this is what I said I was going to do. It got done. It got delivered. I followed through. Like I said, we're training people to recognize our character of what we do or don't do. And for the same reason people gravitate to us is the same reason they stay away. If you're not in the accountability crew, then you're not on our crew. That's the truth. It's people don't want to be held accountable because they don't want to be held accountable themselves. When you do what the fuck you say you're going to do, people either want to get on board with it or they back up. Because most people don't want to be held to their word either. Nobody held me to this obligation. Nobody even followed up. I needed to follow up. I knew about it. I held myself accountable. So, if there's anything you didn't understand about this video, feel free to reach out to me. If it's to push ahead, if it's to make more, a lot of things developing, a lot of things happen. I'm blessed. I'm grateful for all of this. But I'm out putting in the work every day, networking with some great people, mainly all outside the community. When I mean outside the community, I mean the other people I'm networking with. Some of these people I don't even know. If it goes for my apparel, if it goes for trying to get some more speaking events lined up, if it's for content I'm sending people, working with people. Each person brings something different to the table. So, hey, this person's a tech person, so I need to contact them about podcasting. This person is working with troubled youth, so I need to contact. These people work with addicts. I'm gonna let me talk to them. This person is wanting some of my apparel, so they want to take it, order it from a different part of the United States, and they tell somebody else, whatever it is, it's coming from my work and the people I'm networking with. Some great people. I can't stress enough networking outside your community. Nobody's obligated to do nothing. I obligate myself to do it. So you shouldn't have to beg or influence, persuade, or trick or manipulate anybody to do anything. Everybody's got free will. They should do it because they feel compelled to do it. I feel compelled to do it. I feel happy when I'm doing this. I never really felt satisfaction in life until I started building something for myself as well as can help other people. Again, the fundraising with the races is just something that's implemented with my brand and business. I'm gonna keep pushing forward. We're doing nothing but shifting gears with the gas down and without maybe tap the brakes every now and then, but we're not letting up. I mean, anybody's criticism, anybody that's skeptical, anybody that hates, you don't even bother us because we know that you ain't gonna deal with us face to face in real life. You do it from over there. You do it from back here. And you do it for a fucking reason. That's why. Well, we're out trying to do some good. And anytime you're trying to do good, the wolves come, the hyenas come after you, as to say, because you know that you need to come in packs for us. Because one-on-one, I mean, hell, most of us can't even handle us verbally, much less anything else. So I'm working with some great people. I didn't tell them I was doing this video. They knew I would do it. So I didn't know if they wanted their names mentioned. But everybody that donated, no matter how little it was, 2 or 3 of my classmates, a guy that I've just met one time, two other of my classmates, you've seen the sponsors on my shirt, helped me come through, helped me organize some things. It was the first one. It was really rough around the edges, what I call it rough. It was the pilot episode, the rough draft of this. Man, so grateful for both of y'all, all of you, so humble. You know I'm gonna keep doing it. I communicate with these people regularly. They know what's going on. They know what we're working on together. They know what I'm working on individually. They know what's coming next. So as soon as I have another one lined out, next year is going to be a big year. 2020, I really plan on doing more races than I ever have in my life. Sometimes I'd do one, I wouldn't do nothing for 2 or 3 years, injuries, things set back, money, I didn't line up my schedule right. I plan on doing, I don't know necessarily Spartan, I plan on doing at least 5 this coming year. That's the plan, maybe more. But I have some things on the agenda I'm already lining up a year in advance. And I don't always have the resources to pay for them in advance, you know. So I have to get the fees paid for first. If nobody decides to put anything, if nobody decides to contribute, donate, it's not donations to me, fundraising, sponsors, I'm going to do it anyway. But what if we can help people along the way? I mean, I feel like it's better when it's people we know, man. People around the community. We get on Facebook, we get on social media, we share stuff. Oh, that's sad. We did this. But what are we doing? Hey, I had to check myself. There's a lot of things I overlooked in the past. Sometimes when you're caught up in your own misery and stuff that's going on in your own life, you overlook stuff. I've done it. Again, do you acknowledge it and do you address it and do you handle it and do you correct it? And the reason it don't happen a lot is because people don't hold nobody accountable. Like I said, we'll pass off what people say. We'll say this person said this. Well, I heard them say that. Well, I heard this about that person. We'll go with it. But what people do, we seem to be okay with whatever they do. If they do or don't do it, to me it's huge, man. We say, well, man is only good as his word. We believe that? Are we living by that? Do we practice that in our life? Seems like a lot of people don't. I know a small percentage of people who do, and them are the people I mess with. Them are the people I communicate with. Them are the people I like to do business with. There's a difference when you know that person, you know the individual, you know if they're going to do what they say they're going to do. Like I said, we're training people by what we do and don't do. Somebody can tell me something, and if I know that person well, if they do 90% of the time what they say they're going to do, if they have a valid reason, I know it's a valid reason. Then there's them people that as soon as they open their mouth, you know an excuse is coming. This has nothing to do with donations. It's just in our daily life. Because people that make a lot of excuses also lie a lot. They do. I mean, they're always on the defensive. They get it, and they get pissed when you don't take whatever they have to say. That's the truth. I consider the source. I have I know a number of different people. When they tell me something, 90% of the time they do what they say they're going to do. I believe them. Just like if I tell people I can't do something or I'm going to get to it later, people that know me know I'm going to do it. If it's somebody that it's every time, and they're going to give you a lot of different reasons. People that make excuses have a list of them. It's never ending. Their whole life is an excuse, and usually these people play victim, and they always got some. People that have drama always have drama. It's always some bullshit with these people. Them are the people I don't want to fuck with. I might care about them, I might love them, but I got to keep them at a distance. You can't make progress like that. So, just out trying to make a difference, man. You know, and I feel like that's the only, for me, that's the only way I get satisfaction. That's the only way that's why I have gratitude and joy. And just to let y'all know something, for people that think they're entitled, if you don't have gratitude, then you don't have nothing else. That will be in a lot of my videos, podcasts, whatever it is. Because if you're not grateful, you can't have any of those other things. So if there's any questions about this, anything now or going forward, feel free to reach out to me. I didn't mention nobody's names in this. The 3 families that I gave the humble, small donation, they didn't ask for it. I had to do it. I have to follow through. Anybody about going forward want to reach out to me? Hey, I'm figuring out what I'm going to do next. Matter of fact, I was working on that this morning. And it don't matter if it's $10. If it's $10 and it's 3 families, I'll take $20 or $30 out of my own pocket. Do what you say you're going to do, or don't say it at all. Y'all have a good one. Keep it savage. Stay humble. Tell people you love them. Don't take no shit from nobody.